This is a video blog in response to evaluation question number 6, which is what have you learned about the technologies from the process of constructing this product? So we use different technologies in order to create the final piece for our media, AS. These were both software and hardware. These were all used in conjunction to create a professional looking piece of work. Most of them I hadn't used before, so I had to learn through research on the internet as well as talking to peers and teachers about how to use them and what's the best way to use them for the most effective end product. So these examples of things we used include software such as Blogger, Premiere Pro, YouTube, After Effects and Photoshop. These were the ones that I found hardest to use because I'd had pretty much no previous experience with most of them. Then the hardware that we used was tripods, cameras, lights, the laptops and Mac desktops. These were quite straightforward to use, although at points I needed help with adjusting cameras and focus and all that kind of thing when we were on set, just to make sure that everything was to the best quality that it could be. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the software Blogger. This is an online application that can be accessed by anybody from the public, which was quite useful for me and my partner to use because it allowed us to see each other's work and what we were doing and keep up to date with the kind of things that we needed to be doing. So we were able to contact each other through that and upload so that everybody was in the loop. The casting sheets could be accessed by all of the cast members, so it was very helpful to allow us to discuss things. Previous to starting this project I wasn't familiar with it, so I had to ask some teachers as well as use some of the help guides online in order to be able to use it to the best of its ability. So like uploading slide shares and prezzies, I didn't know how to insert them without just putting a link to them, but for them to actually appear on the Blogger I had to do some research into how to do that, but I found it quite straightforward once I'd got into it. Then the second is some hardware, the Apple iMacs and laptops. So for desktop production we used Apple Macs. We did a majority of our editing on an Apple Mac because it has all the software that we needed, such as like Premiere Pro, After Effects, Photoshop, were all readily available on those desktops. They helped create a professional production, so that was one of the largest reasons why we used them, as well as the quality and the speed, and it allowed us to do everything quite quickly. Then we used the laptops, the Apple laptops, for things like blog work and small bits of editing to send to each other because they're easy to transport. You can use them anywhere as long as you've got internet. If you need to do something using internet, otherwise you can use them anywhere for anything, creating Word documents, PowerPoints, that kind of thing, very easily accessible. It was one of the first times I'd used an iMac and the laptops, but they were fairly easy to work around because they're just like most other Apple products, and I'd had experience with other Apple products before, so that's all fine. Then Premiere Pro, I found this quite difficult to work at first, but after a while I really got into it and I was able to edit reasonably quickly and delve into some of the harder parts of software to use, such as like the colour correcting. For all of the editing we use Premiere Pro. This is a professional piece of software which is sometimes used to make Hollywood productions. It has a large range of tools that allow you to add music, credits, any kind of text. It allows you to cut different clips together, have multiple clips in one place. There's just loads of different tools on it, so it was a very helpful thing to use for our production. Before, I had no experience of using Premiere Pro, so it's quite difficult to begin with, but once I got into it, I really got into it. So the software was very helpful in providing filters and editing resources to create the kind of mood we wanted for our film. But overall the experience we had with Premiere Pro was very positive and helped us to create a meaningful and quite professional looking piece of work. If I were to make another production, I'd definitely use Premiere Pro again because I got so into it and I found it so easy to use after a while. A bit of hardware that we used was the camera and tripod, so we filmed our entire production on a camcorder as well as an iPhone, so the flip cams and an iPhone, because on one of the production days the camera ran out and somebody had left one of the batteries at someone's houses, so I just whipped out my phone and we used that It's an iPhone 7, so the camera quality on it almost matched the quality of the camera that we were using, and it allowed me to get some quite good shots. So in the post-production, when I was doing all my editing, I was able to compare the two different qualities, and I found that the iPhone quality for the camera wasn't as bad as I had anticipated it. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was, and I thought I'd have to discard the footage that I'd taken on it, but in the end it turned out okay. The camcorder was used for a majority of the production, but we did have to use the iPhone for some bits, as I've just explained. The camcorder allowed us to get some quite high quality shots, as well as focus in on certain things and produce some good quality work. It was very easy to use. It was very much like a switch on, switch off, zoom in to and focus on one part of the face, and then when you zoom out it gave quite a nice like depth effect. I didn't use many of the different formats on the camera. Most of the time I just went with the automatic setting because it was easy to use and it produced good shots. I tried using specific settings, but I seem to get just as good a quality shots by just using the automatic. So as for the tripod, we used it to steady the camcorder. I had quite a bit of experience using the tripod because of previous work that I'd done doing photography. This allowed us to have to achieve some steady shots that look quite professional, and these were especially useful when we were doing high and low angle shots because the camera can be quite heavy if you're trying to hold it up, and after a while your hand will begin to shake and it doesn't produce that good a quality shot. Altogether, the skills that we developed through using the camera and tripod are invaluable for future projects that we work on. One of the bits of software that we used quite a lot was YouTube. We used this for when we were doing our research in order to watch other clips from the starts of films, just to get a rough idea of the kind of thing we wanted to do, but without having to watch the entire movie and for it to be copyright free and all that. We also use it to upload vlogs such as this one and the final production itself. It didn't take too long for it to do, and it's very easy and straightforward to use because it's very much like a step-to-step kind of guide. Because Blogger and YouTube are run by Google, it made it easy for the two to be linked up together, so anything that we wanted to upload onto Blogger after having uploaded to YouTube, it was all very straightforward. So if I was ever to do a media project in the future, I would definitely use YouTube as a large aspect of the software that I use because it was so easily and readily available. All you needed was internet to be able to use it, and it's very straightforward, and then it just allows accessibility to a larger audience. And there's several privacy formats that you can use with YouTube to allow your videos to be seen worldwide, private, or only to certain people. For a majority of the things we did, we put them as public because it made it just then easier for us to both access the files, be able to upload them to Blogger as proof of work that we'd done. That's that.